I'm going to tell you how the Florida State Seminoles go to Virginia and win by double digits.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Seminoles. I'm your host, Brian Smith, longtime college football recruiting analyst. Thank you for making Locked On Seminoles a part of your day each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. We are brought to you by our friends at Mazda. Just like football players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. I'm going to give my 10 keys to victory for Florida State. Offense, defense, key special teams point. But there are two prime things that I want to talk about most. First off, it is how you beat Virginia by double digits. And this is above all else. You could take the other 8 or 9, put them to the side, because if Florida State does the following thing, they're winning this game by double digits. Jamari Taylor, running back for the Cavaliers, is legit. Downhill thumper. He's got pretty good speed too. They have done a tremendous job at Virginia, despite some injuries to their front, of running the football. Florida State just happens to be, no offense to their opponents that Virginia's already played, much more talented. And with Tony White's scheme combined with the natural size that Florida State has either recruited or brought in from the transfer portal, I see that as a problem for UVA. But you still have to execute. Will they be able to keep not only Jamari Taylor intact overall and kind of contain him play to play? He's going to have a few good runs. This guy's going to get a chance to play in the NFL. Really good football player. And their backup's good too. Let's be clear. They have a good run game. But if you can slow him down, especially in the two following categories, they're going to struggle against the Noles, and in particular, the red zone. They struggle in the red zone anyway. They run inside zone, much like Florida State. It's the key play for the Cavaliers and the Noles. But are they going to be able to move Darrell Jackson consistently? Really? And are they going to be able to out-scheme Tony White with all the moving parts? Maybe it's Omar Graham. Maybe it's Blake Nicholson. Maybe it's Justin Cryer. Pick somebody. One of the linebackers is probably going to have a big play somewhere there, or at least an opportunity. He finds a way to move guys around and do different things. It could be somebody else. Maybe it's Stephon Thompson. I'm not sure, but the Noles have a ton of depth at linebacker. They'll figure it out who's best to go against this group and get the most reps based on who practices best in practice. And then, again, that size. Daniel Lyons, Darrell Jackson Jr., Jenkins, like they have so many big bodies. You really have to think it's going to be hard, tough sledding, if you will, for them to run the football. And I think you're going to see a lot of 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8s. It's not terrible. Again, they run the ball well, but anything under 4 yards on a first down run is a win for a defense. That's how it's labeled. That's been the theory for 100 years. It's not going to change today. I expect the Noles to give them a lot of problems. And if Jamari gets 100 yards, he's going to need 25, 28 carries. That's probably not going to be good enough. They need him at 25 carries for 180. They need him to have an 80-yard run. They need Taylor to have a 40-yard run on top. They need big plays because they don't do well in the red zone, and that's the other part. They've struggled down there, which is surprising. You got a good running back, 2 really, and you have Chandler Morris at quarterback. It's a little surprising, but UVA doesn't do well in the red zone. So if you're slowing down the inside zone and just inside runs in general, that's going to make it harder on Morris, who's a good quarterback, to throw the football. So above all else, if you take nothing else from this podcast, the number one key for Florida State to not only beat for Virginia, but to win by double digits, which I kind of think they will, you got to stop the inside zone in those power runs and just really slow down Jamari Taylor overall. Florida State does that, they're going to win this football game. Now, number 2, this is my other big key here, and it's the number one thing in general for football games, just every game. It's the dirty word, but it's the most important: injuries. This is my concern for Florida State, and it's not just winning the game. Here's the conundrum. You have guys like Wayne McCoy coming back. Good news. But you also, when the injury report came out, the first one, now it'll get updated per ACC rules. Jabin Boggs was listed as out. This revolving door at wide receiver is insane. Florida State has just been a mess. Last year, too. They need guys just to stay healthy. Squirrel White, is he going to play? How much? How much should he? And then you've got Landon Thomas. He played quite a bit last week. Is he full go? What about Randy Pittman? All these different pass catchers and blockers. By the way, Pittman is a tremendous run blocker. All these guys coming in and out of the lineup, you would think just mathematically, and I know I look at it this way, would eventually impact the continuity between Tommy Castellanos and everybody that catches the ball. It hasn't so far, and it's great. And Deuce has been healthy. But at some point, you need all of your players. And by the way, you play Miami next week. So here's my overall question, and please comment down below on this. Do the Florida State Seminoles play these guys that are quote-unquote back all the way through? Because and I don't know the situation with Boggs, but if he's banged up and they think there's even a 10% chance he can't go against Miami, in some way, shape, or form, that's going to impact how you play McCoy, who's another guy that can play inside at the slot or play outside. He's a versatile guy. BJ Gibson, everybody else, you got to know for sure who's going to be that slot against Miami. Now, you can't look at it that way and talk to the players about it. Definitely can't talk about it to the media to give Virginia more motivation. But this is a coaching point. How do we play our guys that are coming back off injury just in case Squirrel can't go, just in case we're going to lose Boggs too? You don't know when guys are coming off injury. They may tweak it again, whatever it is, ankle, hand injury for Squirrel, whatever. You got to be careful. So let's see what the snap counts are for Squirrel White. How productive is he? And same thing for McCoy. And does BJ Gibson or anybody else from that young group, maybe it's Fryer, I don't know, one of those guys, Tayshawn Gelsey, do any of them play more in the slot and make it not just a dent, but you notice them on the field? Florida State is better when they are on the field. This is my concern. On defense, there's some guys banged up, but it's a little bit more guys catching the ball, whether tight ends or receivers, and then the running backs. Cam Davis is out now. Guys coming in and out of the lineup there. Let's see who gets back. Rodell, I don't think he's playing. I don't know if he's going to be able to be back for Miami. They got to be kind of careful there. They've got depth at running back. But will they play Chroma a bunch against Virginia? If you noticed, he barely played in the last game. Was he hurt? No. They were saving him. They can say whatever they want. They were saving him for the Miami game. I'm calling that out right now. And if you don't think so, that's your problem, because I'm not stupid. This is a new era. Everybody is on a quote-unquote pitch count against lesser opponents. It's just true. Chroma plays a brutal position in running back. It's one of the lowest determined outcomes for how long you'll play at the college or NFL levels without being injured and even having your career come to an end. Safety, tight end, linebacker, and running back are the keys there. Any of those spots, those guys don't last as long. Chroma is a special player that they held him back. What's the pitch count for Chroma this week? Because quite honestly, I don't think he's a guy that you want to really get banged up against UVA, but they're a quality team. If I'm wrong, and UVA does do pretty well, whether it's Taylor or the other running back, forget the other kid's name, but he's pretty good too. If either one of them get going and it's a close game, maybe Chroma's got to play more. I don't think he's banged up per se, but you don't want him to get there before you play Miami. These are the in-between things that I love studying in the game of football. When we come back, I'm going to talk about my other 8 keys here on Locked On Seminoles. Today's show is brought to you by Mazda. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, Mazda's moving the game forward is there for you. These are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, culture, and keep moving the game forward. Let's talk about Florida State's defense, and in particular, Darrell Jackson Jr. They have changed Florida State's culture, and the crowd has loved it at Doak, and they've earned it. They've earned the applause from the people in Doak. Why? Because they have made critical plays when they needed to, whether it's a run stuff, whether it's an interception, or whether it's just taking away any kind of passing lane, especially in that Alabama game. I'm going to give it to Darrell Jackson overall, but Florida State's defense as a whole has been a game changer. So just like Florida State has been doing great, you can also make all the moves that you want with Mazda. The unexpected is only the beginning, and just like that, there's more to every highlight. There's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Today's show is also brought to you by DoorDash. The weekend's almost here, and it's time to crown this week's MVP, who delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like every time you win with DoorDash Streaks on a Saturday, saving more time every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most, so let's break it down. Just talked about Daryl Jackson a second ago and the overall defense. I think that Omar Graham also deserves a lot of credit. He was a pretty good player last year for Florida State, and he's quite honestly a guy that I think is just a big momentum changer. He has big hits, he gets run stuffs, and he's a guy that just kind of embodies that toughness that you need as a defensive player. So just like Omar, Florida State's defense has kind of taken his mentality, and he didn't have any hesitation, no delay when he went and thumped somebody. So it's the same with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday with every order. $250 is how much you can save in a year. And if you do well enough, you might even win $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Terms apply. Promo code is good through November 18th. And finally, we are also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Caffeine just got a new flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy's tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce coffee, but also has B vitamins, nutrients, and zero sugar and no crashes. What you're going to love the most is how portable they are. You want to go to the gym, you want to go to a game, you get an extra shot in the afternoon when you're at work, they've got you covered. So enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love in the bold, new flavors. Try something new in store and online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Thank you once again for making Locked On Seminoles a part of your day, each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm Brian Smith, longtime college football recruiting analyst, bringing you all my insights, thoughts, and recruiting news on the Florida State Seminoles. So let's break down the other 8 keys that I have. And just to reiterate, stopping Jamari Taylor is number 1, and how you utilize your players coming off of injury, and Chroma, keeping him from getting banged up if you got some other running backs hurt. Those are my top 2, but here are the rest of those important things. I guarantee you, and Florida State's coaches know this, there's going to be a trick play, maybe 2 or 3, on the play call sheet for Tony Elliott. He's an offensive coordinator by trade. He's got a graduate student as a quarterback. They're not as talented. They're at home. It's a Friday night game. You've got national TV. There are going to be trick plays. Florida State's players need to be wary of anything that's freelance, just coming downhill, just kind of being overzealous, safeties and corners, and watching the ball go over their head. Flea flicker, run pass option, and last second, Morris throwing, like he's a good athlete, throwing it down the field. Anything where the ball goes over your head. Make them earn it. I hate this kind of defense in general, but make them earn it. They suck in the red zone for whatever reason. It makes no sense. Veteran quarterback, really good running game. They're not good in the red zone. It doesn't make sense, but they bog down there. Make them kick field goals. They're not going to beat your offense as good as it is kicking field goals. And then on top of that, that just wild play, double pass, throwback to Chandler Morris, there's going to be something like that. Florida State has to read their keys, weird formations, guys in their splits. Know your job. Understand your assignment. Don't play outside the scheme. If Florida State's defense does that, they could even blow up a play that is a gadget play and get a turnover, and that can change the course of the game. Next, let Tommy be Tommy, man. And I can't believe, compared to where I was before the season, but I'm going to say it. Throw the ball deep. He's great at it. Tommy must throw the ball deep. He's really good at it. Florida State's got big receivers. They've got fast receivers, and they've got guys making plays. Oh, by the way, Mekhi Danzey, he's pretty good too. They have to account for him, even if he's not running deep routes. Deuce on one side, Mekhi Danzey on the other, Squirrel White, whether it's B.J. Gibson or Wade McCoy, they've got a lot of guys. At the very least, they should be able to hit some deep over routes, some in-breaking routes, maybe even just a shallow cross to get them the ball to set that play up to throw deep. There's a lot of different ways they can do it. I expect Tommy to have a very good passing game. And by the way, UVA's pass defense is, at best, shaky. Improve punt returns. I'm going to spend a few seconds on this. It's looked awkward. This is a coaching, players getting on the same page. This is how you can lose a road game. You want to screw up a road game? Special teams. That's got to get cleaned up. Not going to hover on it. It's straightforward, but they got to fix the punt kick. Pass rush. I talked about this several times this week, and it doesn't really change. It's not just beating Virginia with this. It's keeping everything in front of you. Rush 4. I mean, you occasionally blitz, but overall, be able to rush 4, make Chandler Morris move off his spot. He can run. He'll go get you 5-10 yards, but he's not Tommy. He's not somebody that is going to go out and, like a Jaden Daniels that was at LSU, somebody like that. He's not on that level. Make him move his feet a little bit. Very accurate quarterback. Processes at an elite level. He's actually, I was reading Sinone's article over at Knowles 24/7. He's actually been better. This makes no sense at all. As Sinone mentioned, he's been better when he's pressured than when he's not. So just getting close to him is not enough. You physically have to get close enough where he's moving because he knows he's going to get plowed. This is going to be a really important game, not just to move him off the spot, but this is going to be the blueprint for what FSU's coaches use on whether or not they can get pressure next week against Carson Beck with 4. Because no offense to Virginia's line, they've got guys banged up, tackles, etc. A little iffy there too. But if you're not getting pressure with 4 against Virginia, it's going to be a long day against Carson Beck because he is super accurate and he's got way better players. Must get pressure with 4. Screen game. Virginia sucks at tackling. I talked about the wide receivers for the Noles a little bit ago. What about Randy Pittman on a screen? What about Landon Thomas on a screen? What about Chroma on a screen? Florida State screen game, I don't care which person, Deuce, whatever it is, make them tackle in space. They're not very good at it. We're far enough into the season now, Virginia they're not very good at it. If you get 5 screens in this game where they're quote-unquote executed fairly well, one of them should pop for 20 or 30 yards. Those plays where, again, it changes what the defensive coordinator has to think about doing. Maybe dropping a guy down in the box, maybe shading to Wayne, maybe shading to Deuce, whoever they're throwing the screen to. And it'll depend on how they align. It's RPO game. It's kind of check with me, everything with Tommy. They got all kinds of different reads. If they show something, hey, just screen them to death. If they drop everybody in the box, throw it wide to the receivers. Whatever it is, make them tackle in space. Florida State's way better than they are physically. Don't forget about that. Keep it simple. They're probably going to miss tackles. Let your guys get some work in. Deuce Robinson in general, I want to take a moment on. They haven't really needed this yet, but throwing to him in the red zone, I think, is just at some point going to be a problem. They don't have the DBs to handle him in general. But if you're a third, like if you get a penalty or a sack or just something goes goofy and it's 3rd down and goal from the 12, throw it up. Throw it up. If you want, you can almost tell them, do they have a corner that can go one-on-one with him? Probably not. And if they shade a safety way over, fake outside, hard inside, let's go slant. Let's see if he can get it into the end zone with his massive size. The dude's over 220 pounds. Tackling Deuce is not a good time. Pittman's the same kind of deal. He's not as tall, but that's another ferocious player. Not many guys are going to win one-on-one with him. I'd love to see him because, again, as a remembering point here, I'm not happy about it, but you're losing Boggs because he's on the injury report. He's not playing. Pittman can play slot. He played it at UCF. He's played it a little FSU. That's another guy you can play there as a power player. Fade slot to him, wouldn't be surprised. But use your size and strength in the red zone. Take advantage of a, at best, below average Virginia pass defense. And then finally, just the tight ends overall. They just haven't thrown to him very much. And with Pittman back, Landon Thomas getting healthier, playing more, I'd like just to see them more involved. Whether it's run game with outside zone, Pittman is an animal in it. Whether it's Landon Thomas in the screen game, Amari Williams, I don't know how they do it. I think they should get the tight ends for Florida State more involved. if you want to use them all in the red zone, just like I was talking about a second ago with his size, Amari, put him out wide, throw it up. How many linebackers or safeties are really going to check Amari in one-on-ones? That's a very special athlete. Same thing with Landon. Like, at some point, just keep it simple. My guy is better than your guy. That's something Bowden used to talk about all the time. And you hear it all the time with Saban talking about recruiting and stuff on different shows. It is imperative. Use the talent. You went out and recruited it. Go use it and let it win for you. Thank you once again for making Locked On Seminoles a part of your day each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Truly appreciate you stopping in. Hit that like, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you have subscribed. And if you're on Apple, hit the automatic download so you get these each and every day sent to you. I truly appreciate you stopping in. We will see you again soon on Locked On Seminoles.